over time. But one thing has stayed consistent. Celebrating 30 years on the air on WROI is the first federal program. Hosts may have changed, but the program is still the same. Now continuing a long-standing tradition, streaming on the First Federal Facebook page and on WROI. It's time for the...
Hey, good morning. It is time for First Federal here on the second day of 2026, and we welcome Tanner to the program. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Randy. How we doing?
Hey, doing great. Glad to have you. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. We made it.
We did. We did. It's always good to get past that New Year's Eve and get that day going, and here we are, the second day of the year.
Second day of the year, rocking and rolling. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas out there and Happy New Year and all that good stuff with the holiday seasons, or if you're still going to celebrate.
I was going to say, some may still be, with families, you never know.
Then I hope you have a good celebration. So, it's kind of hard to believe. Year 2026. I heard this morning on my drive down, we're now over a fifth of the way through the century. I hadn't thought about that.
That's one way to look at it, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, craziness.
2026 has started. So.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what year it is. Year of the. I'm not sure.
I haven't heard that either. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I should have looked it up for my trivia question, but I got a fun trivia question.
Oh, I'm sure. So. You're starting me out on a tough one. I'm sure.
Maybe. I don't know. I got confidence in you. You did pretty well. I bet you got more right than you got wrong in 2025.
Probably, but again, it's all guesses.
Well, tomorrow marks a big day for First Federal. It marks our 60th anniversary tomorrow.
Wow, crazy.
So
60 years.
On January 3rd, 1966, Dick Belcher opened up the doors to First Federal Savings Bank.
Yeah.
Haven't looked back ever since.
Yeah, it's just kept growing and keep growing.
Yeah, and we got some exciting things in store for in 2026 that I can't really publicly announce yet, but
they're coming.
They're coming. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
To all the First Federal social media accounts out there. But my trivia question has to do with the opening of First Federal back in 1966. So First Federal Savings Bank, like I said, opened its doors on January 3rd, 1966 in the back of what grocery store?
Ooh.
Now I'll give you four choices.
Okay.
And you can answer at the end of the program, and so can our guests here, who I'll introduce here in a second. Was it Berkway, Halterman's, A&P, or Ewing's?
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I know this has been mentioned lots of times during the show, other points when we've talked about anniversaries or different things. So now you just got to put your thinking cap back on and see if you can remember.
I mean, because that's one of my favorite stories about First Federal is, not only did we open 60 years, it was in the back of a grocery store.
Yeah,
How neat is that? But in the same location.
Yeah.
On 9th Street.
The
building looks just a little different now.
Just a little.
Back then. So.
No groceries in the front this time.
No groceries in the front. I don't think we'll be offering that anytime soon. But hey, never say never.
That's right.
Never say never. But we have a fun program in store to kick off the First Federal show of 2026. Got three representatives of Fulton County Hope joining us this morning to talk about their warming center, which we had them on last year. It was honestly, I think, our most popular show we did last year out of the whole county years. We had Amy Rowe, Heather Bradley, and Pastor Don Meyer this morning joining us. So thank you for joining us. And
Good morning.
We're excited to talk to you here in a bit about the changes that have been made to the warming center this year. So, but first, Randy, I know we've been talking about it since I got through the door this morning. Sports world, a lot going on.
Crazy college playoff this weekend or this past couple of days, and a lot of bowl games too. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of others, but I don't know how many people actually watch those as much anymore. But
I can't say I have this year.
I caught bits and pieces of different ones.
Pop-Tart Bowl?
Yeah, I did not watch the Pop-Tart. I did see Tony the Tiger Bowl, the Sun Bowl.
There's some interesting ones out there.
I watched a little bit of that one with Texas.
Bush's Baked Beans Bowl, I think, this year.
Some of the things they do.
I don't know if I'd want to win, like the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
I did see the Tiger Flakes get dumped.
That wouldn't be too bad. I could do that one.
There was still some water on some of these games, but
there's.
My wife goes, I hope they don't put milk on that with cereal too. That might be, it could be a little soggy.
But
I did see the Roses get dumped on Coach Signetti last night.
Yes, dominating fashion. Then he had to beat Alabama yesterday to move on to the Peach Bowl next week.
Of course, Miami on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, with an upset over Ohio State.
Ohio State did not look good either.
No, I mean they played well all year until the last two games. And
interesting.
Happens.
Yeah.
And then last
Big money
night,
doesn't always work.
Ole Miss over Georgia.
Yeah.
Without the coach that led them most of the way, so.
A pretty good start to for the new coach.
Yeah.
He's 2-0.
Yeah. A lot of confidence now in that fan base. I mean, with that coach. So in the next week's matchups, you'll have Miami versus Ole Miss. Miami opens up as a 2.5-point favorite. That game's Thursday night. And then the Peach Bowl, Indiana and Oregon are Friday. Yeah. And Indiana opens as a 4.5-point favorite.
Okay.
So it's interesting. Dan Lanning of Oregon kind of was complaining, saying we should be on Saturday. College football should be played on Saturdays.
I don't understand why.
With
I suppose
they don't want to compete with the NFL.
I know, but I mean, you could do a doubleheader on Saturday and have I'll be at a basketball game on a Friday night in Indiana, and here we. Like, well, I guess I'll have to have my phone next to me.
But that's where it's just too much. The NFL's came over and everything.
No, I get it. Money talks.
Yep.
Especially the TV people.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of the NFL, this is the last week of the regular season.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe.
Craziness.
The Colts are officially out of playoff contention, but they could still try to play spoiler a little bit.
Yeah, they can.
And impact the Texans.
I was going to say they can.
I think seeding. I think they're.
I was going to say it's more seeding.
Yeah. But the Colts travel to Houston where they're 10.5-point underdogs. That game's at Sunday at 1 o'clock on CBS. Also right here on WROI for the final time this season.
And of course, if you're a Notre Dame fan, Riley Leonard getting the nod to
and
start.
He should now that they're out of it.
Yeah, I thought maybe he would last week.
I did too.
But I think coming back with Philip Rivers coming back,
kind of giving his swan song one more time, I guess.
In front of the Colts stands. I tell you what, though, because we were there.
Yeah.
And he still got the biggest applause and cheer when they announced his name than any of the other. He's still loved as a Colts fan.
Well, just for what he did. I'm a Broncos fan, so I don't really care for Philip Rivers and the history there. But it's pretty neat to see him come off the couch, not play in 5 years, to help his friend, Shane Steichen, who's the Colts head coach, when they needed somebody to help.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and it was kind of cool too. He had his Alabama high school football team there that he coaches. They were there Sunday.
His whole family was there.
Yeah, so it's kind of a neat, like you say, swan song.
Yeah.
Hopefully now Colts will be moving forward and
it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, because they don't have that #1 round pick anymore. So.
And the Chicago Bears locked in playoffs.
Yeah, they
just don't know the seeding quite yet.
It's kind of, as a Bears fan, that's kind of nice to finally see.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I mean, they fell to San Francisco the other night, so they're 11-5, but the 3-point favorites hosting the Lions on Sunday at 4:25 on Fox.
So some teams still have a little bit. It's more the seeding. Yeah, a lot of teams are locked in, but it's just where and whether you're hosting or going on the road or so.
That makes a big difference. Big difference,
especially this time of year.
And then college basketball start conference play. Tonight and tomorrow for conferences.
Finally.
Finally here. Notre Dame's got a late one tonight if you're a Notre Dame basketball fan. They travel to Cal at 11 o'clock on ESPN2 tonight.
Well, if you're out there in California for IU, there won't be that late for you out there.
There you go. And then Butler and Purdue are in action tomorrow. Butler hosts Villanova at noon on TNT. Purdue travels to Wisconsin tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on Fox. And Indiana's in action Sunday at home against Washington at 8 o'clock on the Big Ten Network.
They had to give Fisher time to get back.
Yeah.
So they don't play till Sunday.
I'm sure they didn't worry about that when the schedule was made at the time.
They probably weren't even thinking about that.
It worked out perfectly for them. And local sports, a lot going on.
There is. Of course, there's some tournaments going on. I know Rochester girls are in a tournament today. Winamac girls also in a kitchen classic in Delphi. So I want to wish both of them the best of luck as some holiday tournaments wrap up this weekend. But we'll get back with our broadcast coming up next Saturday, or this Saturday, as the Rochester Zebras host Bremen. The guys in action. So Bremen, pretty good ball club coming in. So
pretty good at a lot of sports.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
we'll be on the air about 7:10 tomorrow night with the pregame show. So Zebra basketball back. Then, of course, the next week we get back into the full gamut of girls, boys, and
conference play and
finishing
all
up
that
conference
stuff.
for the girls because it's the last month for
Yeah.
girls basketball. January.
That's incredible.
February starts sectionals.
Wow.
I put a little wintertime perspective to things.
That really did. Time flies.
And in February we'll be talking about the boys wrapping things up
All
and
all that good stuff.
it's crazy.
Wow.
Busy time of the year.
And of course, the wrestling team.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah.
They won
They're
a
having a
big
good
tournament.
season, boys and girls.
Yeah. So
Swimming team's going strong.
yeah, nice to have a home pool now. So
yeah,
they're enjoying that.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks fantastic
Yeah.
too.
So hopefully a great start to the 26th portion of everybody's season.
Maybe the year of the zebra.
There you
How
go.
about
There we go. Perfect. We'll just call it ourselves.
There we go. Got some tidbits here this morning. On this day, 1906, Willis Carrier, might have heard the Carrier name, received a U.S. patent for the world's first modern air conditioner.
Thank goodness.
On this day, 1943, the University of Kentucky men's basketball team began a 129 home game winning streak
Crazy.
that ended in 1955. Through that time, they won the national title in 1948, 49, and 51. So a lot of their success was right there in
Right
the
there.
40s and 50s.
Yeah. Crazy.
And on this day, 1974, the speed limit of 55 miles per hour was imposed by President Richard Nixon.
Oh, yes.
Yep,
We still see that occasionally
yep, occasionally.
on state roads.
Yeah. And on this day in 2023, I remember where I was when I was watching this. Buffalo Bills player DeMar Hamlin collapsed
Oh, yeah.
in event of cardiac arrest and received CPR in the Monday night game against the Bengals, which the game was called. And thankfully, he survived. And I don't think he's still on the Bills, but he played a few more seasons.
He did. He made a
Incredible
return.
story.
Yeah.
But very scary.
I do remember watching it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
just kind of one of those freak,
Right.
I don't
It was right after a hit.
accident type
Yeah.
things that,
Yeah, everybody thought he was injured from the hit, and no.
It was frightening to see a player getting CPR on the field.
Right,
I had never
yeah.
recalled that happen to an athlete before. So,
But
at least not television.
yeah, thanks for at least everybody being right there and quick action.
Yep. And we got some national days today. Today's Motivation and Inspiration Day. Was a good one.
Yeah.
World Introvert Day. National Science Fiction Day. National Buffet Day.
I love a buffet.
National Cream Puff Day. Swiss Cheese Day.
Okay.
National Personal Trainer Awareness Day. It's good to kick off the new year thinking about maybe getting some exercise in. National Pet Travel Safety Day. Stop Spam Day. That'd be nice.
No,
Stop spam.
I would love
worse
that.
and worse out there. Isn't it?
Yeah.
And 55 mile per hour speed limit day.
There we
That's
go.
why I had to put the
There we
other
go.
tidbit in there about that. So, but at the bank, we're open today and tomorrow with our regular banking hours. We were closed yesterday, of course, for New Year's. So we closed on noon on New Year's Eve, but back open and rolling with our regular banking hours today, 8:30 to 5, or 8:30 to noon. We'd love to see you at any of our 6 branch locations. But if you can't make it in, or just want to bank with us online, you can do so, and do so right there with your mobile phone with our free mobile app, which just type in First Federal Savings Bank, FFSB Rochester. There's a whole combination you can look for in the App Store. Just look for the white star and the green background, and you're halfway there for downloading it. So.
Yeah, it's easy.
And if you're traveling over the weekend and in an area that doesn't have a First Federal ATM, we are part of the MoneyPass network. So just go on moneypass.com, type in the zip code of the area you're in. It'll let you know the different ATMs in that area that are also part of the MoneyPass network. You can then use that ATM and you won't get charged a surcharge fee.
I have had to do that.
Yes, pretty easy.
It is pretty easy. Works
service.
nice.
Not to get charged $3, $4, $5,
Right.
sometimes even more
Right.
dollars just to use
Makes
the
it
ATM.
nice.
So. And we offer Simply Free checking accounts and Simply Free business checking accounts. And Randy, I forgot to bring the gift in with me again this week.
Well, it's okay because it
It's
is
the
coming off a
running theme.
holiday.
All right, I appreciate.
I'll give you that.
I appreciate the grace there. When you open up a new checking account, you get a free gift. Which right now we are offering a slow cooker, which I think I've had to reorder those almost every day the past week when we've been open. So.
So
people really
look
enjoying
out today. You'll have lots of requests to reorder.
Yeah, had one late on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I had to put in. So, and there's also a way you can get that without opening up a checking account if you already have a checking account with us. You don't want to open up another one. You can simply refer a friend. You can do that in person or online. Tell them Randy sent you.
That's right.
And when you come in, and your friend will get a gift for opening up the account. You will as well for just referring them. So pretty
Easy.
Or if you want a $10 Amazon gift card, we can do that as well.
Oh, okay.
So
Awesome.
yeah, got some options there. And if you're looking into buying a home in 2026, it's a good thing to think about getting pre-approved for that home. So you know the housing market. I mean, getting a few more houses out there, but they're not lasting on the market very fast. So you want to be prepared for when that house that you really want hits the market. Contact Ben Dalton or Stacy Wilson at our Rochester branch or Ryan Austin at our Winmack branch. They'd be happy to get you pre-approved, and our pre-approval process is free of charge, and they'll talk you over different options, try to get you in the right loan that fits your needs. So let them know how they can help you and your family with your mortgage lending needs. We also offer commercial lending for businesses. You can contact Zach Reuter at 574-223-1731 for more information on that. He'd be glad to help you. And if you're thinking about retiring in 2026 or maybe 2027, you want to move over a 401k, those sorts of things, contact Mark Blueball or Brian Bell of our Financial Services Department for more information. Their direct line is 574-223-1705. And to keep up to date with the latest going on at First Federal Savings Bank, you can like us on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at FF Banking is our handle on those. Like us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you can see an archive of First Federal radio shows dating back to 2019.
Crazy.
So we are the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender, and our NMLS number is 399927.
That makes us legal and ready for the fun
Ready for the fun part of the show, which we'll introduce our guests here again for anybody that wasn't listening at the top of the show. We have Amy Rowe, Pastor Don Meyer, and Heather Bradley, all of Fulton County Hope, joining us this morning to talk about their warming center.
Yeah.
Some changes.
Yes, good
from
morning.
last year.
Yeah. Good morning.
Thanks for joining me this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, absolutely. So the warming center or shelters, I'm not sure which to say exactly.
All the terms.
It's been going on for a little bit now. We had you on last year, and you were talking last year there was multiple different locations for the centers, and this year there's been some changes to the process of how everything's going. Can one of you three speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, so I'll start, and then I'll let these two do most of the talking, because they're the heavy lifters right now. So yeah, we were blessed, had done a lot of research for many years just on homelessness and the need for supporting individuals that potentially were struggling. I think they call it unhoused, but that's a technical term. But trying to figure out what the best way to address those folks, specifically in the winter months right now. That was the biggest need that came about. And so last year we were blessed. It was just a combination of a perfect storm, the good Lord, and all the things that came together. And we had 3 churches that were willing to open their homes to allow us to be there. And without that, and I have to, bless Eric Lane. He's not listening, but Eric Lane in Fellowship Missions over in Kosciuszko County, he sat, and Pastor Don was part of that meeting last year. He basically looked at us and said, "Oh, you guys have been talking about this for a very long time, and there are people that are freezing out on the streets right now. So I feel like we can keep talking about this, trying to figure out all the details of perfection, or we can just do it and hope for the best." And so we did it and hoped for the best last year. And it's a true labor of love. It was a lot of work, just trying to get all the details together. So that was pretty crazy. And so this year we've got a lot of very organized things.
With experience.
Throwing it out there, hoping it sticks, and now it's sticking.
But what a blessing for you and everybody involved to realize last year the need. Because, we've had people in the past talk about the problem of homelessness in Rochester and Fulton County. A lot of people from the outside looking in probably don't realize, Rochester's a smaller town. There can't be a big homelessness problem, and there is.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that, and I can't wait till Heather gets to talk about it, and Pastor Don as well, just kind of some of the stories. But yeah, it was, I think, eye-opening for us. We partly started seeing it because we realized there was something called a pit count, point in time, and that was something that we hadn't been doing. It was through the Indiana Housing Development Corporation, and that was, I think, last year or the year before. I've lost track of time, but that was so we can get grants for homes. Evan's part of that with Lighted Pathways. And so we started doing that, and then it was the stories that started coming in, and we're like, oh my goodness, like there are actual people out there in places that we would never even realize, and in the winter, that is just terrifying. It's like, just thinking about those folks that are actual individuals that are potentially, freezing out there and, harm their life that they can.
I'm going to kind of put you on the spot. I don't know if you know this number, but how many people did you end up serving last year?
That was 30. Last year, that 38, yeah. So some of them were repeat customers,
Right.
But it started out really slow with some, I think tentativeness, and it started out slow this year too. Because trying to get the word out, you think to yourself, oh yeah, I don't think that the folks that are sleeping under bridges are looking at Facebook potentially, or the newspaper, or all these other things, and some fears that come with that. Yeah, we ended up. I counted every single intake sheet. So I know that in preparation for this year, it was about 30 of those, so at various different times. So.
And when did it open?
Yeah, so it opened up. I wrote that down.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you on November 22nd, and we are open until March 15th.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we have one church. That was one of the really neat things that happened, and I want Pastor Don and I wanted those two not to have it, but. Like we said, last year was just, we were talking about it earlier, attempting to try to pack everything up. I thought the truck was going to kill me. Every single time, can we use your truck again? And packing those things up and then having to go to the next church. Oh my goodness. Like that 30 days goes faster than you realize.
Yep.
So it was every month. And so then you just get used to the church and the pastor and the congregation and everybody, and then you pack it up and you run into the next one. So, Pastor Don can tell the story specifically, but I remember being in this virtual meeting. I was at the office, and the good Lord placed it on my soul to say, and I about panicked because I thought, how is he going to respond to this? But I just really felt like Pastor Don was supposed to be the sole church. And I just knew it. And so I just thought, I'm going to throw it out there. If he gets mad at me, he gets mad at me. I'll apologize later. But on the virtual call, I just said, Pastor Don, I'm going to say something real crazy. But I just, in the deep depths of my gut, I feel like you are supposed to be doing this the whole season. Now, I could be having indigestion, maybe I ate Taco Bell or something. But I was like, I just really feel like this is what it's supposed to be. It would make it easier. You just have a heart for the folks that are homeless, and I just think that maybe would you consider that? And he will tell you, but he was like, that's actually not too far from the truth, because he'll tell you the story of what really kind of brought that there. And so that right there was one of the changes, having one church and really focusing on building how do we, meet the needs. That was really helpful. Also, Brian Johnson, thanks to him, who is very infinite in his little wisdom of things, suggested we talk to Jason Mitchell from Emmaus. We have Eric Lane, who's great at just throwing it out there and seeing if it sticks, and resources. But Jason was really great at the structural part of things. So I spent 14 hours over 3 days putting together an entire manual of the program. So we say that Fulton County Hope runs the program that basically is at the center, which is Pastor Don's church. So we have the program with the rules, regulations, all the things that we have to for legal purposes, and also just to make it easier for volunteers. And we did that this year because Heather can tell you that has been such a joy, and she'll tell you a little about that and how helpful that is for structure for the volunteers. I don't need as much structure, but there are a lot of people who want to do. So we understood and we did that. So so we've got really cool things. I just want to take a couple moments just to say thank you to folks, and then I really want to make sure we let everybody else have a moment. But we've been blessed. Nubiano's Pizza, now that they're open, have just surprised our volunteers with some pizza. Casey's gives us donuts, and Starbucks gives us a whole bunch of different things. Woodland Hospital, without them, they are helping to sanitize our linens. We've got City of Rochester, because Trent's been very helpful, and others there. Commissioners are very supportive by really just providing the opportunity to speak about the warming center, and then helping us to have EMA and use of facilities, their supplies, and then the health department. The millions of volunteers, I'm not saying millions, but Heather can tell you, people have just been so gracious to jump on board. Tammy Wilson, who's not here today because she's on a mission trip in Ukraine, who got us started and is our technical facility coordinator. We got our +1 here too. And then last but not least, Heart to Heart Church, who, without Don saying to that probably pointed question, yes, He has made it a million times easier to do this. So we're really blessed, and like I said, these are the ones that are boots on the ground. So yeah.
It takes a village. Like
It
you like
takes
to say.
a village all the time. I mean, without all the people being willing, and that's it. You know, anybody who says that Fulton County is not philanthropic, or if they, I tell you, people have been very kind, very gracious, and have stepped up to the plate and have done things I would never in a million years have expected. And for that, we're super grateful. We've got money that's coming in for the Warming Center to Fulton County Hope to pay for extra things that we hope to provide too. So it's been really cool.
That's great. That's great. Well, thank you for everything
Yes,
you do
I'm
for
gonna
Fulton
step
County
back.
Hope and the warming centers.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm going to let Pastor Don and Heather do all the exciting stuff.
All right.
And Heather.
So yes, now we're going to be speaking with Pastor Don Meyer and Heather Bradley of Fulton County Hope. And good morning to you both.
Good morning.
So Pastor Don, what was going through your mind when Amy threw out that suggestion that she talked about being the one main hub, if you will, of the warming center?
Well, my rescue right now is the fact that this is National Introvert Day, so I'm honored that Heather and I don't have anything to say.
Well,
As I put the whole program on you guys.
There you go. Well, it was a little bit like a deer in the headlights, but the Lord had been working on me before that question. He seems to have a way of doing that. And so I said, well, I will pray about that, because it didn't take very long.
yeah.
And then I took it to my board, and they were happy about this, and it became an easy yes to say yes. And of course, there's been all kinds of things to prepare for.
Sure.
Church insurance was one of them, but we made it over that hurdle, and it's worked very nice. It's Heart to Heart Church of the Nazarene, located across from Smith Farm Store. That's the location of the warming center. But you know, the fellowship hall is set up really nice for this, and we didn't realize that till the question came, and it makes a lot of sense, and it is much easier to do it at one location.
Sure.
Last year it was 3 months, this year it's 4 months. So there's just incredible cooperation in the community. I mean, just like last night, Kentucky Fried Chicken DoorDash showed up, and it's like, but they keep dropping it in at my house. And it needs to go to the church. So hear ye, all hearing that want to do something like that. Just tell them to at the church. It's on the
Unless you
same
want it to be
parking
eaten
lot.
by you.
Yeah. I mean, the chicken's getting cold out there. I happened to notice it. I took it quickly across the parking lot, and I don't know if you guys know who was sent that or not.
I don't know.
Brandon Parker,
Oh, okay.
yeah, he
Okay.
texted and said that he was gonna do that, so.
Well, you see, I mean, that kind of cooperation. Everyone is essential in this, really. Everyone's essential.
Amen.
Yeah. Kind of like you said, it kind of takes a village and a
Yeah.
lot of moving parts to make this all come through. So Heather, how long have you been involved with Fulton County Hope?
As far as Fulton County Hope,
Yeah.
they had just kind of asked me this year to help step in a little
Okay.
bit. Last year, when Church of the Heartland, which is where I go to church, they hosted it. So
Okay.
then they were needing volunteers, so that's kind of when I stepped in as far as the Warming Center. Like Amy said, we kind of started off slow, and there it takes a minute, you know, where nobody's coming and you've got the questions and all of this stuff. But I'm telling you, the first time you have somebody come in and you just get to talk to them, you know, and it's hard. It's hard for somebody to walk in the door
Sure.
when they're not sure what they're walking into, right? So it's super important that they're welcomed and all of the things. And then many times they'll just open up. And I think there's kind of a stigma out there of, you know, why people are homeless or this or that. And as far as us in particular, what I've noticed and, you know, meeting with a lot of our guests is many times they're just situational. You know, we have, you know, people that, you know, their furnace went out or their wood stove can't keep up or they don't have, you know, they are in a place that, you know, hey, I know that's not a safe place for me at night. I feel okay there during the day, but at night I don't feel safe there. So I think, you know, just knowing that there are many reasons, and no matter what those reasons are, if we aren't open, they're either one in a not, you know, not in a safe place, or two, they're cold.
Yeah.
They're out there walking. They're out there trying to, you know, be next to a building just to get one side to save from the wind. So it's super important. And again, on my end, the volunteers, as like a volunteer coordinator, I guess they were saying it's, in the beginning it's a little tough, but man, once they get to visit with those guests and see those stories and know that they're safe, I think also, you know, you hear of a warming center, I think sometimes you think of a homeless shelter. That has a picture, I believe, in people's mind, and that is where's other places and what is needed. But for us, if there are those questions of what that looks like, you know, get a hold of me, get a hold of somebody on the Hope, and we can show you what that looks like. It's not a scary place, it's nothing like that. You know, they have, everything is set in place for not only guests, but for the volunteers to be safe. It really is neat to see. It's really neat to see it come all together. Again, they have it split up, so in 4 shifts, trying to make it easier for people to accommodate. You know, it's hard to do a noon or, you know, a midnight to 7 a.m.
Sure.
But, you know, maybe you're willing to go, you know, from 3:45 to 7 and just go without a few hours of sleep before you go to work the next day or something like that. But so those shifts, if anybody is interested, because they are hard to fill. People have kids, people have to go to work the next day, the weather, you know, but it is important. We do have guests. We have, you know, guests, like I said, their situations are different and they enjoy just having somebody to talk to. You know, we've just got a little table, you know, have lunch or, you know, have dinner with them and they enjoy that. But we need faces, and I look at it as like we as a community, we step up for the people we know. I mean, we are huge. If somebody we know has a fire or, you know, is going through cancer, has these horrible situations, we're there. Like, our community is awesome. This is an opportunity of, you know, we don't know their story, we don't know them. They don't have the support like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But we can do it just by committing 4 hours of our time.
If for anybody that might be listening out there or watching on Facebook that's interested in volunteering, just contact you, or how do they go about doing it?
Yeah, they're welcome to contact me anytime. My phone number is 574-453-1116. Text me, call me. Again, we've had people that they were unsure and like, you know what, just meet me there. If you want to meet me there one day, let's walk through it. Let's take it, you know. You're like, oh, you know, I didn't know. Or, you know, and then once you see it, I think that's what it takes. You know, just check it out. That doesn't mean you're committing to anything at all. Just come check it out. Or, you know, at least you can see what is happening. And, you know, many times there's guests there when they come and check it out and they're like, it makes a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else, Pastor Don or Heather, you would like to share about this experience so far? Anything that you'd like the community to know about that we haven't covered this morning?
Well, initially, I thought that my pastoral presence would be a help to the guest, but I've been able to help the volunteers because it seems like they have a pastor in front of them. They got questions, so I've been surprised at that, but it's been good, and I hope that it's been a benefit. I do want to mention that there are other churches in town that have a heart for the homeless.
Sure.
Heart for this. It's just the circumstances and the availability of our building. It just worked out. Let's see, there was trust. We're finding that sometimes just because it's offered doesn't mean it's trusted. And this is a humble group of people. I mean, we know that people need help. We all need help occasionally.
Sure.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, very well said.
Yeah, and I think to add on that, you know, Pastor Don's church is hosting it, but like he said, we have wonderful volunteers that, you know, churches are passing that along to their congregation or to their Facebook friends, and it is a multitude of people of all ages and backgrounds and all of the things, and it has been great. It really absolutely has. But again, that doesn't mean that there is not a lack of need for volunteers. So here is that.
Says the volunteer coordinator. Listen to her.
Here is that lead. Here is that lead. And like I said, and just to put that out there really quick, the shifts are 5:45 to 9, 8:45 to midnight, 11:45 to 4, and then 3:45 to 7. And again, everything is pretty black and white. It is very simple. Simple works. And again, there's always 2 people, there's safe, you know, it's safe. It's nothing scary, it's nothing to be scared about. And again, it's open door for anybody to get a hold of me and check, you know, if they're willing to, you know, even consider it, get a hold of us and we'll we'll show them what it's all about.
And sometimes you get random snacks that people drop by.
There you go, yes.
If they make it, unless they go to Costco.
Yes.
Let's pass it on, night.
So, one more time, the location of the warming center and the end date, I guess.
Yes.
Yes.
Location.
Location is Heart to Heart Church of the Nazarene, which is located across the street from Smith Farm Store on Old 31.
And the end date is March 15th. So that will be the end of that day. And then we will be packing everything up and torturing Trent one more time and putting it into storage. And I do want to say a special thank you. You know, Trent, without a mayor who provides the opportunity to have something like this in the home in the town, it's not possible.
Sure.
Strong leadership that allows things that are maybe a little bit more scary to some people. That is really important. So we're grateful to him and the others in other churches. So, and we've got more things to come. We're trying to continue to problem solve and figure out how we can meet the needs and find those folks and make sure that they are coming. So we might have transportation. We might have visits out to them. We have to figure it out. So we've got things to come, right?
That's all right.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Well, thank you to all three of you for all your hard work and passion and everything that goes into this. I mean, you're doing such a great thing for the community.
A blessing. And we have good people who,
Yes.
you know, there's two of them here, but then there's so many other people who have been such a great part of it. We couldn't do it without them. So.
Well, thank you for joining me this
Thank you.
morning.
Thank you for having us.
And trivia question, you all three can participate in this if you would like. All right. First Harvest Savings Bank opened on its doors on January 3rd, 1966 in the back of what grocery store? Berkway, Holderman's, A&P, or Ewing's?
I believe it was Ewing's.
Well, we thought it was Berkway.
D.
D is correct, it's Ewing's. Ewing's grocery store. Yeah.
Failed. Already on the second year.
Then we'll close with some words of wisdom from this German poet, Rainer Maria Rilke. And now we welcome the new year, full of things that have never been.
Tanner, thank you very much. Good words there. Guys, good luck with
Yes, thank
everything,
you.
and wish you well.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Very good. So thank you.
With those words of wisdom,